I'm Dr. Victor, a psychologist. And yes, even the loudest people can feel deeply alone. Today, I want to talk about something real. About that invisible weight you carry when everyone thinks you're fine. We'll explore that through the story of Yuji Itadori, one of the most outwardly vibrant, but inwardly broken, protagonists in anime. This video contains spoilers from the anime, but not the manga. Let's go. Yuji Itadori. The one who laughs the loudest, runs the fastest, connects with everyone, and yet carries the most silent kind of pain. He is inside him the strongest curse in existence, Sukuna. But the real curse might be the expectations he places on himself. Let's slow down for a second. Yuji isn't born a fighter. He's born a grandson, raised by someone who was like a father. A curious, energetic kid who just wanted to live a simple life, free of regrets. Until everything shattered. When his grandfather died, Yuji wasn't just left alone. He was left with words. Words that would become a mission. Use your strength to help others. At first glance, it sounds noble. Beautiful, even. But here's the thing. Purpose born from grief is still grief. It's just wearing armor. And sometimes, that armor gets too heavy. Yuji's transition into the world of curses is rapid, almost violent. No time to grieve. No space to reflect. Just fight. Save. Protect. Survive. He eats Sukuna's finger. Becomes a vessel. And inherits a countdown to death. And yet, he smiles. He reassures everyone. He cracks jokes. He hides. Let's talk about empathy fatigue, a term coined by psychologist Charles Figley. It's what happens when your heart never stops bleeding for others. It's what happens when you blame yourself for pain that wasn't yours to begin with. People who experience empathy fatigue often feel deep emotional exhaustion, chronic guilt, a need to fix everything, and the inability to say, I'm not okay. Yuji is the embodiment of this. He tries to carry everyone, even when he's already sinking. There's a paradox in his personality. He's extroverted, sociable. People love being around him. But that's the trap. Extroverts who are emotionally exhausted often go unnoticed. Because no one thinks to ask, how are you really doing? We assume they're okay because they smile. We trust their energy, without sensing their emptiness. Yuji reminds me of those people who joke during group hangouts, but cry themselves to sleep. Who make others feel seen, but never talk about their own pain. Nobara says it perfectly. He brings his own chair and sits down. He's the type of person who enters your life fast, but rarely lets you into his. And that loneliness is terrifying. After his grandfather dies, Yuji doesn't mourn. He acts. He builds an identity around being useful, around saving people, around giving the proper death to those who suffer. Because deep down, he couldn't give that to his grandfather. And it haunts him. Let's bring in another concept, emotional dissonance. This happens when your outer emotions don't match your inner reality. You laugh when you want to cry. You say I'm fine when your heart's falling apart. You become so used to pretending. You forget how to feel honestly. Yuji lives in this state. Not because he wants to lie, but because he doesn't want to be a burden. And that's what hits the hardest. Many people suppress negative emotions to protect others. They don't want to be too much. They fear judgment. They're afraid no one will understand. But here's the problem. Suppressed emotion doesn't disappear. It mutates into exhaustion, anxiety, illness. Studies by psychologists James Gross and Oliver John showed that chronic emotional suppression leads to lower immune function, increased risk of depression, poor memory, and decreased relationship satisfaction. Yuji isn't just tired. He's emotionally malnourished. And then comes Junpei, a boy he barely knew, but wanted so badly to save. And he failed. That moment wasn't just painful. It broke him. Sukuna laughed. Mahito mocked him. And Yuji snapped. He screamed from a place so deep. It felt like he was finally speaking truth after years of silence. He said, "The words that came out of my mouth were so deep, they made everything I've ever said feel like a lie. That line? That's not dialogue. That's trauma surfacing. Let's talk about anger." Psychologist Jerry Defenbacher explains that anger arises from a trigger event, a person's tolerance for frustration, pre-existing stress, the belief that something is unfair or wrong. Yuji felt all four. He had every reason to break. But instead, he kept moving. Yuji learns 3 key lessons. From Megumi, you can't save everyone. From Gojo, strength is about autonomy, not control. From Nanami, some things are simply beyond our grasp. And when Nanami tells him, "Now you're a true Jujutsu sorcerer," it's not because Yuji got stronger. It's because he finally understood what it means to live while letting go of control. I've met people like Yuji. People who shine for everyone, but no one sees them dim. If you're one of them, please hear this: you don't have to keep smiling. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to carry everyone. You matter too. If this video helped you, if you saw even a little of yourself in Yuji, consider supporting the channel using the links in the description. It's one way to help me keep creating content that speaks to the parts of you that no one else seems to notice. While I help you find meaning through these stories, you help keep them alive. Like, comment, share, and tell me, when did Yuji feel most like you? Because here, you don't have to hide anymore. And this is just the beginning.